All right, on to our final presentation before the most important session, lunch. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Angela Flowerday, Acting Vice President of Student Affairs here at UDST, who will enlighten us on Navigate360 and how it can help support our students. Thank you. Dr. Angela? There you go.
Good morning. Thank you. So I'm literally the only thing standing in the way of your lunch. So I know that, so I will definitely try to be as concise as possible. So my name's Angela Flowerday. I have sat in that seat for many years, but I'm in a different capacity now, and I'm here to talk about something very, very important. The reason we are all here today. What is that? The students. Excellent. So I'm advocating for the students today. I do feel I have an advantage having been a faculty member in this role, so that's good, and I want to hear from you. So today, I am so pleased to be a proud of the disruptive innovation in education, and all the things I've heard today are really actually very much aligned to what I want to share with you and why we have student affairs. Does anyone know what's included in student affairs? What are all the departments? Can you list them for me? Counseling and accessibility, thank you, and wellness, good, and yes, good. Health centers, very good. What about the one I used to be a part of? That should be number one. Thank you, student essential services, and I'm curious, this is a little bit of data collection for me. Which one? Peer tutoring, okay. There's a couple more departments. Excellent, thank you. Student engagement, and then I heard wellness and ARD, very good, and one more. Sports, thank you, Gerard, you should know that. Okay, so as you can see, my job needs to ensure that the faculty are aware of all the various components of student affairs and what we do, as well as the students, of course. So I have a job to ensure the student's experience is positive, that it is navigated effectively, and that the student is satisfied. So it's a big task. So I'm here today to work with you for the next maybe 40 minutes or so to advance something. What we want to look at is student success, and we want to share with you a tool, which I'm sure a lot of you know about, Navigate360. So before I start, how many of you are faculty advisors? Voila, very good. And even if you're not, this is extremely important for you as well. Just curious. And last question, how many of you have used Navigate360, our student success management system? Wonderful. Okay, so today, no technical side to Navigate360 at all. You can have that through many other modules coming soon. So advancing student success. Now, I've talked a little bit about student affairs. Our job is really to help the students navigate their student journey, their life cycle, and all of their experiences on campus. So you've talked about AI in academic integrity today. My latest lineup of students is all about their plagiarism percentage, their absenteeism percentage, and they talk all about their accessibility. So all of the items that you've talked today about, maybe e-gaming, hybrid courses, those align to all of the things that the students are addressing today. And there was another item, the e-gaming. How many of you know that we have an e-gaming lounge in Building 18? If you don't know that, please come by and take a look. We have all the items. I'd like to take you for a tour today, actually, because we have all the items that you've just seen today for the students. So engagement, retention, satisfaction, and they get to use that during the day in between their classes, take a little break, relax, but also it helps them with their dexterity. And as you can see, it's a part of our learning. So we have all of this within student affairs. So student affairs is imagine a place where every student finds their path, every dream finds support, and every journey finds a purpose. That's student affairs. And we're not just supporting education, but we're supporting potential, we're supporting connections and those experiences that not just give them academic excellence, but provides them a lifetime of skills. And that's what you're all doing here today. So kudos to you. Thank you to the AEL team for creating this opportunity. All right, let's get into what we're trying to do. And I need to speed up a little bit because we have a shortened period of time. So I do want to try to explore the concept of student success. I'd like to introduce a student success framework, which I hope will give you some guidance as faculty. You're the first stop to all of our student journeys. You're the ones developing relationships with our students. We do as well, but we're the support. You're their faculty member and often their advisors. So we need to ensure you have the tools to advise them appropriately. We also then want to look at Navigate360. What kind of features does it have, the functionalities, but not just from the technical side, like setting up your availability, which I know my team has been hounding you to do. It's more about what will make us successful using Navigate. How will it help us achieve retention? How will it help us achieve satisfaction for students, enrollment, maybe increase higher achievers? Also, how will it help us to build engaged students? But this journey is not just about the student. It will help your journey as faculty advisors. So I hope you might be able to leave with some advising strategies as well. So those are our objectives. Now I'm going to take a quick stop here to tie this together for you. How many of you have read the UDST strategic plan 2024 to 27? Okay, so I only see a few hands here. I know that I'm from the student affairs side and even working closely with Dr. Rashid and Dr. Salam, but as a colleague, I recommend you read this document. It's extremely informative. It was shared with you, it's on the public website, and you really should know what's in there. I find it extremely valuable for my role, but I'm also suggesting you'll find it valuable. So these are the 5 pillars. I'm not going to address all of them today, but you can see that there's 5 main areas of focus for the UDST strategy. I want to share with you the one that I'm really focused on for now is fostering student development, engagement, and success. And I'm not doing this alone. Of course, I have a team of all those departments you mentioned, but I have you as a part of that team. So faculty advisors, heads of departments, assistant deans who I work extremely closely with, and they're extremely valuable to me, and I hope we provide value to them. And we need to work together to achieve this goal. So here is some of the information you need when we're looking at how do we foster student development, engagement, and success. We're looking at the student holistically. Okay, we're developing a holistic student. We're trying to engage them. We want to empower them. These are really key words. And we want to do that throughout their entire life cycle. So do we know the life cycle? Do we know what student success is? And we want to ensure that they achieve not just their academics. That's an easy one. We're getting those tools today. But we also want them to have their professional aspirations achieved. And we are getting some of that today with the micro-credentials, etc. And we want them to be global citizens. So I want to define a few things for you today. We still have some more work to do with student affairs, but I want to give you some information that I think you'll find valuable. So for me, the formula is the following. UDST students plus faculty/faculty advisors equals student success. So the journey is with 2 partners as well as student affairs, and together we're going to equal student success, inshallah. And of course, there's many aspects to that, but you are a true key component to that success. All right, so what am I talking about? What does student success mean to you? And anybody who attended my COB college information session yesterday, we've done this brainstorming. Can I hear what student success means? How do you define that? Unfortunately, it is hard to hear up here. I do understand, yes. Can someone say that again for me, please? Just yell it out. Student success, how do you define that? GPA, right? CGPA, GPA, fine, easy, summative. What else? Engagement in the classroom, very good. Sorry, I didn't tell you this was an interactive session. I need to make sure everybody's still awake. I'm back into teacher mode. What else? Student success, what is it? What is that again? Thank you. Being empowered, the student's journey, they need to be on their journey. We can only take them so far. They need to come halfway. What else? One more. Yes, when they're satisfied, they definitely have some success. Get a job, absolutely. But they want me to do that for them. Okay. Here it is, my friends. This is what we're calling a student success framework. And we've done a lot of research for this framework. It's a guide, and I'll be introducing it over time for you to have as a guide for you, a pathway, and some of the elements that you need to have your advising discussions. Okay, so I know that you probably want to take a photo or take this down, but I'm going to be sharing this in a more formal way with you because we still want to develop some KPIs so you can actually try to achieve some of these foundations of success. So the house is student success. What's holding up the house are 3 pillars. The student who is successful, inshallah, UDST is academically successful, they're personally successful, and they have a career development, and they're in their future will have a career success. In order to get there, we're looking at them holistically. So I know sometimes you look at a student, you judge them on their CGPA. I'm going to ask that we don't just judge them on their CGPA. It's important, don't get me wrong, extremely important, but I also want you to look at the student holistically. So when we do that, I'm looking at things like, and this might be a little small, so I apologize. Firstly, academic excellence, of course, that's important. Employability, so we heard that. Now, not just get a job, they need to start day one. How do they gain skills to become employable? Today's discussion is extremely important, what you're hearing about micro-credentials. They'll need those. It's changing so quickly. What do we have next? Community engagement. So the engagement team is focused on building community opportunities so they can build their engagement and giving back to the society. Also giving back to the world globally. They need to be global citizens. They need to be satisfied as a student. So that has a lot of different definitions, which we'll go through a few. And we need to keep them, retain them. So retention, all the things you're talking about today, thanks to Dr. Hiba and her team, those are going to retain the student a little longer. Students want hybrid learning. Students want to come to class less, but still learn. So those are retention. We have holistic student well-being. What does that mean? What are we offering? Do we know the student? Do we know their needs? All of this homework is being done now. We have innovation and entrepreneurship, a big focus and big competency levels for us to achieve. A lot like the EFFL class is going to embed entrepreneurship as an example. Other courses have it as part of their curriculum. Leadership development, we want our students to be leaders. The industry needs them to be leaders. What are we as Student Affairs doing to give them that opportunity? And last but not least, professional competencies. So what are they doing to achieve their competencies in their programs? Some of the programs are obvious. They have accreditations or they have certifications or associations to professional associations, and those are obvious. But for everyone else, what are we doing to allow the students to have this? When you have your advising discussions, these are some of the areas I'd like you to focus on. Start with CGPA, but then we need to get to know our student. So coming very soon to a theater near you, we'll be doing a lot of advising training. My team is quite small in that area right now, but we are building it. And this is where we hope to build our advising strategies with you. Okay, KPIs will come with that very shortly. So if those are the student success, how are we going to achieve it? How will we know when we achieve it? What do you think? What will the sign be? Can I have one sign? I'm going to speed up a little bit, but anybody, what can I measure it against? How will I know? CGPA will be easy, fine. I'll do some studies on that and the progress we're doing. Anything else I might want to use? If this is student success, how do we achieve it? Focus on retention. Really? I have 5 minutes? Oh, okay. Less students on probation. Okay, so I'm going to speed up. This is all in the strategic plan. So please know all these KPIs, I did not create them, but rather I'm measuring my team's success against these. So very quickly, increase employability enhancement programs by 10% so students are employable. Decrease students on probation by 30%. And the list goes on. Even increase engagement, increase satisfaction. So we need to define all those and we need to share them with you so you can help us do that. So basically, I have 5 minutes. So what I want to do is share with you, I'm going to skip to something very quickly. This is what I think. Oh, okay. So thank you for, oh, so you, okay. So when I saw the sign, thank you. Now I can go back. I feel better now. All right. So here we are. I guess this slide didn't work on here. So you're supposed to visualize something here. It's not clear. This is a big ball of yarn that's all messy. You have to take it apart. That's currently what the student journey may look like. Not everybody's, but as we know, the students often chasing people around, trying to find answers. They're navigating their student life cycle, and it might be a little bit complex. So Navigate360 is going to help us make it a little less complex. We want to unravel the student experience. So some of these slides are actually not populating here. So we've introduced Navigate360, a student success management system, in June 24. So it's still very new. We are finalizing all of the configuration, but in general, I think the majority of us know that it's going to help us be better at advising. It's going to help us to coordinate all of our efforts, collaborate in many ways, but in general, it's going to help your role as faculty advisor be more streamlined, and also my role. My goal, less emails. You guys in with that? Yes, because we should have this system where it's tracking, showing progress, keeping the story, the history of the student. So it's allowing the student to be empowered. They're self-driven. They have this amazing app and they can select what they need. Then it's allowing us to act using intervention tools like messaging campaigns that are a click of a button rather than where's my distribution list? How do I send this email to everybody? A smart student profile, so a quick glance at how our students are doing overall with some gut checks like, oh, look how many courses they failed. So lots of great interventions and early alerts, all a part of our strategy using Navigate360 to support retention and satisfaction. We also have many options for collecting data. So when we have data, we can make evidence-based decisions in the future. Right now, our SIS data is great, but this data is going to be focused on student success, not just the summative, how many courses did you drop, how many courses did you pass, what is your CGPA. Now we can look at all those other features of student success framework, and we can collaborate them and create some metrics and measure the student success. We also have a way for us to plan, which is what my team is doing to support you, putting together an early alerts plan, a retention strategy, and helping you have an advising strategy. So lots more to come with this amazing tool called Student Success Management System. Here's just a quick glance of all the features. I think some of you may know some of these. We've got, for the student side, a friendly app. They can raise their hand because they have a question and it goes to someone. They can join different clubs. They can book a fitness class. They can create, put a request in for somebody to study with. They can book peer tutoring. So many great tools. For you, there's also some great tools. You have everything in one-stop shop. All of your advisees are right there in one location. I know you have that in PeopleSoft, but it's not as user-friendly, and it's also not as easily accessible. You have an ability to refer a student, somebody who has a need. You're the support network. You don't know how to refer them. You don't know who works where. That's fine. It's a click of a button. You also will receive some reporting options, some live data tracking. You can keep notes. So when I see the same student, I'll know exactly what you told that student. So this is the technical side. We'll have lots of training about this in the future, but the ability here is for us to maintain student success and track it, check the progress, and make additional decisions as we go. All of these units are involved. So some student affairs units, but also other units. So the students have access to all of these different features in one-stop shop, whereas before, where's that location? What do I do? How do I find the library? What's at the library? How do I find out about finance? I have a hold. How do I deal with that? So all of these areas are now embedded in our Navigate, and just a couple more coming soon. In case you were wondering, the scholarship, lots of students in need of scholarship and sponsorship. UHub is even joining our collaboration with Navigate360. So now I'm going to walk you through that journey I've talked about. So before I jump into the journey of the student has a life cycle here. It's 4 years. What's involved in that? What are some of the stops that they make along the way? Can you tell me some of the stops from start to finish, just quickly? What's the student life cycle look like? because I have to study this life cycle, and I do. I dream about it. What's in there? The application, good, they apply. Even before that, we have to attract them to apply, right? Okay, then they apply, and then registration, good. What happens then? Orientation, and then we select courses. What else happens in their experience? Put yourself in the shoes of a student, because that's what I do every day, and I write these down, and then I address them. How is the experience in there? They go to class. You know what? That's not on there. They have to do that, yes. What else? They go to events. Good. Yes, unfortunately, not the best time of year. They have to navigate. So here is the life cycle. Let's walk through it quickly. First, oh, these are not, oh my goodness, these are not coming up here. This is not good. Hold on. Let me get to my slide. It's not actually showing here. Okay, I think next slides will be better. Okay, so basically, I'm going to have to ad-lib here. This is the student life cycle. The first stop is attraction. So one of the things University of Doha has to do is strive to attract students. So this life cycle for this area is as follows. So I'm going to share these with you very quickly. I want you to come with me on this journey of a student life cycle. And at every stage, I want you to focus on a few areas. This is the attraction area, for example. And I'd like to share with you what does Navigate360 help us to do in this area? How does it help us streamline it? And then if you see on the on your right-hand side, the student success framework and what it contributes to. How does it contribute to student success, in essence? Then at the top is the title, and then I'll give you a bit more information as we go. So in the attraction, students are introduced to Navigate360. We use it as a tool for satisfaction. We tell everyone, come to UDST. We track your student success. We want to know about you. We want to know your goals. Come to us and we will help you. And that should, inshallah, help us achieve higher achieving students. The next student's life cycle is the orientation, I believe. Yes, orientation. So the students are then selected coming to campus. This is an important time, right? First impression, number one. Also getting them started with the right foot forward. So the orientation, we do lots of things there. We introduce the app, which is right here. We don't have an app, I know, I'm sorry. I wish we had an app. Just the student does. We have the desktop version. And the student will download the app immediately once their student numbers are matriculated so they can download the app. They sign up, and guess what? It's immediate buy-in, 100%. They just think it's a part of their student life cycle. The senior students, not so much yet, but the new students, yes. We tag those students. We invite them to University Skills Summer Program, which is run by Student Affairs, and we tag those students. And guess what? I'm going to track their progress. I'm going to see how they do over the next 4 years. We have new student orientation, international student orientation, and your role in this is we want to do more meet your faculty advisor events. How do you meet your faculty advisor? Your job is to start developing this relationship with them, and Navigate360 will help streamline that. Okay, the next aspect of the student life cycle is registration. So they register for courses. They might do it before orientation, but typically we're going to use Navigate360. They come to, say, the campus. They use our kiosk. We're going to track how many students are using the registration. How many students have questions? What kind of questions? But we don't have this kind of data yet. And I need this kind of data so I can predict in the future what services we need to offer, etc. So new student orientation definitely contributes to satisfaction and retention. Next part of the life cycle, first year student experience, brand new initiative. If anybody's worked at other institutions around the world, an FYE program is very popular. It's that first year holding their hands along the way a little bit so that they get the tools that they need to be successful. So this is where everything happens in the first year and they get a taste of all aspects of university, even career building, etc. So here, the kiosk is used with Navigate, and it's a very comprehensive program contributing to retention, satisfaction, and community engagement as well. The next part of the life cycle is academic success planning, and I want to thank the AAL team for highlighting it today. We do meet the student at the beginning of their journey, set academic goals with them. But my favorite part of this academic success planning is introducing the policies like attendance, academic standing, all the policies that are important, and I hope soon to do more work with the academic integrity policy and all the other policies that we need for them to be successful. So this is where we track everyone that's attended or completed an academic success plan, and this should show me if that's an effective tool, how it's effective, which students have used it, and then be able to do more outreach with that. So you can see I'm just trying to collect the data so we have it in the future. Lots of contribution to student success on the side, especially holistic well-being and satisfaction. The next part of their journey is called Student Support Programs and Services. At-risk students, what's an at-risk student? What does that mean? How do you define at-risk? You tell me. I know, so you don't know our actual definition from here, but I like the question. He knows it from Concordia. So at risk for us right now is probation 1, probation 2, but I'm defining at risk in my job as before you get there. So I might define it as 2.2 and to 2.4 because you're potentially going to be on probation. With Navigate360, I can search for all of that data, reach out to those students and say, hey, come on in, I want to do some improvement planning with you or academic success planning with you. Or the students who are on probation, we also do that. So Navigate will allow me to tag those students and then track their progress, as well as if I ask them to do some steps, go to peer tutoring or do some other supports, then I can track that progress and not just guess. I can also track how many times they came to see you. All right, so all of these streamlining efforts so we have data to move forward. Okay, another student support program and student support programs and services is to use student central services, academic supports, academic learning supports, and also the career supports. So all of this is a part of their journey at this point in time. They can use academic advising through our hybrid model of advising with you as their faculty advisor and Student Central Services as their academic advisor. So again, Navigate will now allow us to share, collaborate, be able to keep notes on the student, be able to track their progress, and be able to ensure that we have the correct information to make better decisions. Okay, we also have situations like this on the student life cycle. A student got an F or a D grade on a midterm exam and wants to meet with their advisor. Sometimes they might want to retake a course. What do you do right now? Go to the head of department, right? Or go do something. So you send the student off on their journey. I want the student journey to stop at your office. And that way the student's navigation is clear, simple, and not convoluted like the ball of yarn. So with Navigate, we're configuring it so it's a little less complex for the student. So they should be able to have automation with their repeating courses and questions about their repeating courses. Academic learning services, you have a student in your office on their life cycle and their journey, and you can see they're struggling with a course. Instead of saying, go find Student Central Services, I think it's in building 13, you click a button, you refer them to my team, and my team gets their note, and the team reaches out to the student. That's what Navigate can do for us. No email, no follow-up, just a click of a button. I have to rely on my team to respond, but considering that that is in place, that should be a streamlined student satisfaction success. Here's an example of that message that I've just shared with you, of that scenario. A student needs tutoring. The instructor, maybe the instructor even, not just faculty advisor, says, okay, let me go into Navigate and click a referral. So you know you've supported student success as a part of their student success network. And the team, the specialist from the academic learning services reaches out to the student. The student may not attend, but I've got that tracked as well, by the way. And then the data is maintained. So when that student maybe gets dismissed, I can say, well, what happened? Why didn't you go to that referral? Why didn't you take advantage of that option? So these are all the conversations that now we can have in a fact-based way, as well as with all the history of the student's journey. Okay, part of their life cycle now goes into the student performance. So we talked a little bit about the student supports. Now the student is after midterms, they're doing their performance, they're starting to see data about their grades and their performance in their courses. So it's about time for course withdrawal date. So Navigate360 can play a key role here. We're going to be using it as early alerts. So sending out messages, hey, did you think about this? Come on over and do something. We'll give them an action item. They can set appointments very easily. You shouldn't have students knocking on your door anymore. Miss, are you free for a minute? Set your availability. Give them times they can come by. Make appointments, and you can plan your day effectively. And you will know when students will come. And you can refer. Okay, I'm not sure how to handle this student. It's an interesting situation. Press refer to someone on the back end, which is probably Student Central Services, and then we will support you. So all of those great features coming soon to the Navigate system. Okay, you also will be given options to give us feedback. I'm looking forward to this tool. I haven't used it yet. It's called Progress Reports. And this is where I'll send you a message. I was thinking of doing it this semester, but then I said, no, Math 1070. I saw Scott. I was going to send a progress report, say, tell me how all the students are doing in Math 1070. And if there's some responses that say, this student's not doing well, I just didn't have a configuration on the back end to fix that. It's coming soon. I just need a few more resources. But that's the type of features we can do with Navigate360. And I should be able to do it with all your courses coming very soon. Okay, some other great tools on the student performance activities, at-risk students. Again, our job is to create strategy, Student Central Services, around early alerts, student intervention. So we'll be doing more of that with this group. How about this one? A student actually gets a B or an A on an exam. And often you might say, great work, Bobby. But this time you can do it in Navigate. So the student can keep track of a positive response they receive from their faculty. These are really good motivators. So you're going to have that option. You do have that option, by the way. It's called an alert. Press this alert and you send your student a positive message. Much easier than writing an email. Library is configured in Navigate as well. I'm just worried about my timing, so I'm going to quicken up a bit. The next aspect of our life cycle is what everyone else has been talking about today, how to get the student engaged. Lots of different options here. This is a brand new feature of Navigate. And what I would like to see is those students who are currently not engaged. I would like you to find that student, your advisee or students in your class who seem to just need a little push. And Navigate, you can send the message, I'm going to recommend this student joins a club, or I'm going to recommend that this student looks into an engagement opportunity or a leadership opportunity. We want to know that student. We don't get the opportunity that you do, getting to see them every day and seeing their behaviors. So please, please know we want to support that student. So we're giving you that option in Navigate to send us that alert. We also want to know about the extracurricular activities, co-curricular activities. We want the students to participate in those, and as well as sport and wellness. Okay, do you see a student maybe who's a little sluggish, maybe could use a bit of a motivator to join some of our programs? Doesn't always have to be physical. It could be around the wellness component. Send a referral to us. The student can opt out, but it's an option for you to support your advisees and your students in your class. Also, stress is a big part of our students' life cycle. So if you're noticing a student is stressed, you might support them with peer tutoring, but there's also, as many of you know, counseling and accessibility. So you have the option to refer them. You don't need to send a message to Nicole's team from Student Counseling and Accessibility. You can send an alert. Then we can track it, right? I'm really trying my best to get all this data instead of losing it through email threads. So let's track how many students need stress. Maybe it becomes such a big issue, we need to address it in another more early alert fashion. We also have accessibility services, and I'm really happy to hear about hybrid learning. A lot of students are not always able to join our campus, so accessibility, maybe through makeup exams, needs to be available. This is still very new and being piloted, so as it grows and becomes more scalable, we're going to configure it into Navigate. So I hope these are some evidence of how we're streamlining. I know you have many accountabilities in your role as faculty, and this should become an important tool for you. Okay, so we have lots of other student performance activities. One more that I'd like to share with you is that we are the owner of the Code of Conduct policy. So we do ensure that we advocate for students, but we want them to and have a fair campus. So there is also an opportunity for students to grieve. So when we're, advocating for students is for their best interest, but we're always advocating for both parties, okay, faculty, student, and while we take a look at the situation. In Navigate, I'm tracking now how many student concerns we have. That way we can check the type, the quantitative, and the qualitative, so then we can address them in a more early alert fashion. Okay, so all of this has some rationale for it. All right, and the last part of the student life cycle, although these should actually be a full circle, is career services. One of the KPIs that we have to achieve is employability. So career services is something that the students should partake in the first year student experience and throughout. So you can click on an alert to say this student needs some support in their CV, interviews, and we have this amazing feature called Forage. It's a job simulator, so you'll be happy to know, Ian. I don't know if you know this tool. It's embedded in Navigate, so the student can actually, I don't know what it's like to be a mechanical engineer. So we've got job simulation videos and courses embedded in Navigate, not for credit, but for their experiences. So lots of things are possible with this tool, and I have 5 minutes, so I'm just going to wrap up now, and I apologize, this has all been misaligned, but lots of things are possible. My job is on this circle right here. So I want to look at some early alerts, like students who we call murky middle. It's hidden right now. Murky middle is that 2.2 to 2.4 student who might go into probation. If we can do early alerts, interventions with that group, inshallah, they don't actually head out into probation. Helping probationary students, of course. I'm going to look at numbers like how many students withdrew from courses? Why? When? How many students are repeating a course? Why? When? GPA trends and patterns, and course withdrawal patterns, and low course completion rates. These are just some examples of the tools that we have in industry to help us make better evidence-based decisions. So we'll be sharing lots of those with you as advisors. So I believe the student life cycle is completed. We're looking at a few other areas that I think are important for you. So as we introduce training, we'll introduce things like success markers. These are foundational gateway courses in your programs that if students don't do well in them, they tend to predict that they won't do well in the program in most times, but they're also a predictor of success in your programs. So we'll be training you on how to use those in the near future. Okay, so that I can get to the end here so that I can close up my session and just give you a moment to ask any questions. As you can see, the life cycle is quite complicated and the students have many aspects that they need to work through. But in general, the life cycle, because it's so complicated, we no longer, and I think this is where it says it here, we can no longer we need to look at it in a holistic way. Okay, it's not just about the final summative grade of CGPA. We're advisors that are developing relationships with our students and advisees, and we're looking at them with all of their elements of their student life cycle, academic, personal, and professional, with all of their student success framework and foundations. So today you'll be receiving one of these door hangers. We've produced these for you because I think you're getting some questions for students. I would like to meet with you. So this is going to be placed on your door, inshallah. That's what we've arranged for today. And when a student comes, they should be able to scan the QR code. If they haven't downloaded their app, we do have over 5,000 students that have, and they can book an appointment with you. So I'll leave you to task you to do a couple things moving forward. Please make sure you've set up your availability every semester so the students know when you're available. We'll help you. We can support you along the way. Please go to our website for Navigate360. We have everything on video, no text, all videos for you, little modules, little micro credentials of videos. So those are there for you so you can take advantage of those. Please know my door is always open to support you and my team, and we'll be reaching out to you very shortly. And last but not least, thank you so much for this opportunity, and I hope it's provided you with some insight into what's truly possible. Thank you very much. And if there is, I know it's lunchtime, I don't blame you. I think we're hungry, but if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer quickly, or you can come on up and I'll address them later on. Anyone have any quick questions? I know the instructors do that, that never works. So thank you, everyone. Enjoy your lunch.